So you're considering a move to Mobile, and now you got to figure out where to live, and you're probably starting to do your research.
And chances are someone, or you've heard somewhere, that you need to consider the Eastern Shore over Mobile.
Or vice versa.
Yeah, and you've heard things like avoid Mobile because of crime.
Or the Eastern Shore is full of snobs.
Mobile has more diversity.
Eastern Shore is overpriced.
So in this video, we're gonna compare the two. Obviously, this is gonna be based on opinions and personal experiences, even personal beliefs, but we're gonna give you all the rundown.
Yeah, we've lived in both Mobile and on the Eastern Shore, and we help people all the time buy and sell their homes in both areas too, so I think we can share some pretty good info about both locations.
All right then, let's get started. Mobile is huge. Its population is around 185,000. The city is sort of split up into different boundaries, making it a little overwhelming when trying to decide where to live.
Yeah, I think the Eastern Shore is way more easy to navigate. Mobile has so many areas, it can take a long time to get from point A to point B, where the Eastern Shore you have Highway 98, which is kind of like this main artery that will get you to almost everything.
In Mobile, you have all these historic districts, 7 of which are on the National Register for Historic Districts. These districts make up what's known as downtown and midtown Mobile.
Yeah, those 7 districts are Church Street, Lower Dauphin, which is also known as Loda, Oakley Garden District, Old Dauphin Way, Linecoff, Ashland Place, and Detente Square. There's also Midtown, which is a beautiful historic area, and there's also Africatown, which is an important part of the area's African American history, but neither have been officially designated as a National Register Historic District as of yet.
And all these areas have distinct personalities spread throughout the Mobile area, and they truly define the heart and soul of Old Mobile, making it a cool place to live. Downtown is vibrant and has some of our favorite restaurants like Dumbwaiter, Noble South, or Cotton State Barbecue. And just thinking about it makes me hungry.
I know, my mouth literally just watered.
Hungry, 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 hungry.
All right, but okay, Mobile is a big city with a lot of people, so there's crime, but like everywhere, just be aware of your surroundings. It didn't stop us from going out and living our lives. You just get an idea of what areas to avoid, and I hear all the time about how crime in Mobile is so bad, or how there's been so many more shootings lately, and I'm not gonna lie, Mobile isn't perfect and things like that do happen, but it seems to happen in more concentrated areas, or when it does happen, it doesn't seem like it's random. Dauphin Street downtown does make the news once in a while. You'll definitely hear more about crimes or people getting shot over there during late hours of the night or early morning, like just 2 days ago. 4 people were actually shot at a bar in downtown Mobile around 2 a.m. Again, I'm just keeping it real for y'all. We still love and frequent downtown Mobile and Midtown, and we feel safe, so we just stay aware of our surroundings.
Yeah, and we don't stay out past midnight really, but this can happen anywhere, whether it's Baldwin County, Mobile County, you know, anywhere in the world. But you'll love the historic areas because they have so much character. Homes are super old and very unique. You got ancient oak trees, you know, arched over the streets. They're just amazing. When we lived in Mobile, our favorite part was being able to walk among those huge oaks and just look at all the old architecture, walk downtown to restaurants, or go biking downtown. There's just always something to do.
All right, let's move past downtown and midtown of Mobile and then head over to the Spring Hill area. This is also very walkable, good schools, lots of churches, and fun places to shop. This area does come with a higher price tag for houses sometimes.
Especially close to the country club of Mobile. And speaking of that, you've got great places to golf along with the country club. You've got Spring Hill Golf Course, which is actually at Spring Hill College, and it's definitely the best value for golf in Mobile. I know they do tournaments, and there's just a lot of quick play going on there, and it's less than $30, so it's well worth it.
Okay, and then you've got West Mobile. You're gonna find family-friendly subdivisions like Copeland Island, or there's also Newman Pass, which are D.R. Horton homes. There's a bit more space between houses and lots of options to choose from. Overall, Mobile has several different areas to live in, and it's pretty spread out with so many different areas and neighborhoods. It can be overwhelming to figure out which is best for you. So make sure you give us a call for any help. These neighborhoods I mentioned, and also so many others in West Mobile, are convenient to schools, shopping, churches, and they're away from the downtown life.
Another thing we gotta mention is the traffic. With the larger population comes heavier traffic on the roads. There's a ton of shopping in West Mobile, and you've also got the airport, and with all that action and tons of people who work in the area, commuting for sure takes longer. As far as jobs go, if you work in healthcare, retail, or manufacturing, you're good to go. And if you work in IT, there are fewer jobs, but if you work through like financial services or consulting, you might find that a remote job is gonna be your best bet.
We briefly mentioned Spring Hill College, so I did want to bring that up again. Spring Hill is a smaller private Catholic college right in historic Mobile. Then you've got the University of South Alabama, USA, which is a much bigger school and campus with a larger student body at over 15,000 students.
But don't assume Mobile is a true college town, because it's not. There are only 2 true college towns in the area that revolve around their universities and have their economy made up for those schools, and that would be Tuscaloosa, University of Alabama, and in Auburn University. Also, those 2 towns have all the student luxuries, and they have a huge economy there that supports all their students. Basically, they have industries in town devoted to taking care of the students' wants and needs, but that's not how it is here in Mobile.
There's also some towns that are still college towns but simply aren't heavyweights and aren't at that magnitude that Tuscaloosa and Auburn are, like Florence. You've got University of North Alabama, or Troy, which is Troy University.
Hey, speaking of Troy, me and my mini-me just went to a playoff game versus USA versus Troy, and we had so much fun at the USA Stadium. The parking lot was full, there was tailgating and food trucks, a kid zone with inflatables and a mini football field. They had fireworks. The kids had a blast, and the atmosphere in the stadium was very energetic. The crowd was going nuts. We loved it. They fell a little short, but Mobile will become a college town soon. Someday, you never know, maybe.
Yeah, so Mobile certainly isn't without its charms. There's always something going on, and locals are very friendly. Many will tell you that living any place other than on the Eastern Shore is an investment in pain and suffering, but it just isn't true. I'm sure there are areas to avoid, but that's true of every single place. But it's time to cross over the bay and talk about the Eastern Shore now.
The Eastern Shore is composed of 3 municipalities: Spanish Fort, Daphne, and Fairhope. And there's other smaller communities within them, like Montrose and Barnwell, Point Clear, and Malbus. And they're also often included in that region that I was just saying.
So the combined population is a little over 60,000 residents, which is still less than half of Mobile. That number has grown significantly and will likely continue to grow over the next few years because the Eastern Shore is one of the most popular places to move in Lower Alabama right now.
Yeah, and Eastern Shore is in Baldwin County, which boasts one of the best education systems in the entire state of Alabama. Where in Mobile, a lot of households prefer to send their kids to private schools due to the poorly rated schools that they have for the most part.
But private schools on the Eastern Shore are a big deal too. Like you've got Bayshore or Bayside or St. Michael's, but it's more of a status thing in my opinion, because these college prep schools are highly rated and they stand out for performance, but so do the public schools. But anyways, communities here do not have a high volume of property or violent crimes. Fairhope in particular falls well below the national average. These are highly family-friendly communities with a healthy mixture of both new and old subdivisions, and there's also numerous lots for sale for anyone who wants to build their own house on the Eastern Shore.
There's also numerous golf course communities throughout the Eastern Shore that are popular choices among people looking to buy a house here.
Yes, honey, lots of golf courses.
And the Eastern Shore has experienced a good bit of economic and commercial growth along with its boom in population. The Eastern Shore Center, located in Spanish Fort, just across the road from the Timber Creek Golf Course, is just one of the many projects that helped bring on commercial growth in the area. Although
the communities on the Eastern Shore are growing quickly, they maintain a distinctive small town feel. I personally feel much more connected to our communities on the Eastern Shore compared to Mobile, because every time I leave the house, I'm running into familiar faces or someone saying, hey, you're the YouTube couple. So everyone's super friendly and they just take the time to talk to us. You'd be surprised how many times we've heard people say that the Eastern Shore is all snobby rich people, and this just is not true. I'm sure you may run into some, but not everyone was like that, and there's plenty of humble, middle-class people over here on the Eastern Shore.
This guy right here, very humble, and I will talk your ear off. So the only time you might receive a less than friendly encounter, in my opinion, is if you're shoving politics in someone's face or you're an out-of-towner.
This is true.
When we lived in Mobile, there were new faces every single day, and everything was a little bit busier, so it was much different than the Eastern Shore in that respect. And I do in some ways prefer the slower pace of life on the Eastern Shore, but I also love how fast Mobile was and how fast paced it is, and the diversity and the nightlife and just all the activities that are there, especially on the ones on Sunday, or things stay open late for that matter, because that's something you don't find here on the Eastern Shore. Fairhope, Spanish Fort, Daphne are three of the most popular and quickest growing areas over here, and each of which is within easy driving distance to downtown Mobile and the Gulf of Mexico. So that's definitely a perk that I chose Fairhope to be,
right,
our destination.
Agreed. The drive to the beaches is really easy and quick too. We've got Pensacola, Orange Beach, and Gulf Shores, which are three of our favorites, and we can be there within an hour or less if there's no traffic.
We can also enjoy all that downtown Mobile has to offer too, like all the great restaurants and the Sianger Theater, the Carnival Cruise Port, Mardi Gras parades, festivals, and then we can return to our quiet little Eastern Shore house in 20 to 30 minutes.
You've also got Old Town Daphne and downtown Fairhope, so a lot of locals rarely ever cross the bridge over to Mobile. These downtown areas are super quaint, and again, you'll easily run into comforting, familiar faces. They've got their own cafes and bars and independently owned shops and boutiques, so it's really cute.
Yeah, and I will say the restaurant choices could be better on the Eastern Shore. Mobile has far more options and a way more diverse food scene. You can get bored pretty fast dining out on this side of the bay.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Tony on that. I wish every day we had more variety on the Eastern Shore. You'll have all the chains, but those specialty spots are far and few, and everything is closed on Sundays, like Tony mentioned. And I can't tell you how many times we've said, like, we need to open a pizza joint or a Mexican place or a Chinese takeout spot.
Yeah, and you won't find much nightlife on the Eastern Shore. For an evening out, we usually head to downtown Mobile on Dolphin Street. They have dozens of bars that stay open till like 4 a.m. And you got Heroes and Brickyard and the Saddle Up Saloon and the Loda Beer Garden. Those are just a handful of some of my favorite places.
Fairhope does have a couple bars that do stay open till 2 a.m. like McSherry's and Bone and Barrel, and we do enjoy them, but to switch it up occasionally, we will go out to Mobile. We don't stay out till 4 a.m. anymore. We can't handle that. I must say, not having a whole lot of nightlife helps keep the Eastern Shore a bit more quiet.
It really does. And one of the biggest differences between Eastern Shore and Mobile is hands down the price of homes.
Renting or buying at the Eastern Shore can easily be double. Desirable areas of Mobile will come with a higher price tag, but the Eastern Shore as a whole is more expensive than Mobile. Homes in Fairhope can cost anywhere from $500,000 to $600,000, and similar styles in Mobile can easily be half of that.
Half. In Spanish Fort, the average home is going to be $350,000. You may find that you have less options for homes here compared to Mobile, and they are pricey. For reference, average cost for a home in Daphne is about $315,000, and Fairhope is $500,000.
And the average cost for a home in Mobile is $215,000. So Mobile may be a growing, vibrant metro area, but its cost of living falls well below the national average, with housing being particularly inexpensive. So now, like I mentioned, all of these cities have more desirable areas, including Mobile, where homes can be $700,000 to over $1 million easily. There's actually a home right now in Spring Hill that's going for $2.7 million, and it's incredible. And $1 million homes in Fairhope are very common as well. Luckily, there are plenty of more modest homes to choose from. Otherwise, we would not be living here. So when people do say the Eastern Shore costs more in terms of buying a home, that does ring true.
Yeah, the Mobile area as a whole offers a diversity of housing options. West Mobile and the historic areas of Mobile are very, very family friendly. If it's an art scene you're looking for, downtown and midtown are what you're gonna find to be your best bet. And across the bay in Baldwin County, there's a wide variety of housing options on the Eastern Shore with a total different feel from Mobile. You're gonna find small town vibes, and you'll also get that art scene there too, along with a lot slower pace of living. A lot slower.
If you prefer a busier lifestyle in an area with a lot of action, consider Mobile. If a small town vibe is more up your alley, then check out the Eastern Shore and the charming, more quiet towns.
And if you need any help figuring out anything at all, we're the ones to call to help you find your next home. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Please give us a like and a subscribe and leave us some feedback, and we'll see you all in the next video.
See ya.